Hello friends, welcome to this video lecture on traffic engineering and management. So in today's lecture, we are going to see very briefly about non-motorized transportation. Non-motorized transportation is also a part of public transportation, is also a part of urban transportation. Now we will see very briefly how non-motorized transportation impacts the society, impacts the transportation system, and how the non-motorized system is also a part of public transportation system. So what do you understand by non-motorized transportation? So the non-motorized transportations are those transportations which exclude any kind of buses, metros, cars. All these are motorized transportation. So when we are saying non-motorized transportation, what will come? If you are going on foot, that is a non-motorized transportation. If you are using your bicycle, that is a non-motorized transportation. If you are going by bullock cart, if you are using cycle rickshaws, these are non-motorized transportation, where human energy or the energy of some animals are used for the mode of transportation. But basically, if we see most common non-motorized modes of transportations may be pedestrians going on foot, bicycle users, and people who are using cycle rickshaws as mode of transportation. So there are certain advantages and disadvantages of non-motorized transportation. Now, if we see the non-motorized transportation may have certain disadvantages, like it will take more time if you move in non-motorized transportation. If you start walking from one point to another, it will take more time compared to if you move by a bus or by a car. And the transportation facilities of available for non-motorized transportation are not adequate in most of the cities of our country. We are not having adequate facilities for pedestrians. We're not having adequate facilities for bicycle users. So proper planning and implementation are required for the use of non-motorized transportation, because non-motorized transportation are having certain benefits as well. Now, if we move forward, there are three dimensions of sustainable transportation. What are these three dimensions of sustainable transportation? These are the social, economy, and environment. When we say sustainable transportation, it's very easy to understand. We are taking care of the future generation. We are taking care that the environment is not hampered. So these are the three prominent dimensions of sustainable transportation. And sustainable transportation is the need of the hour. The transportation should be such that it is not causing any damage on the environment. It is taking care of the future generation. It is taking care of the society, of the economy as well. So non-motorized transportation is a very sustainable mode of transportation, because it adds to the health of the users, because when you walk or when you bicycle, your health will be improved. And if the health of the society, of the people living in the society, is improved, that leads to the growth of the country. At the same time, non-motorized transportation helps to uh, get a better environment. So when you are using your bicycle, or when you are going on foot, you are actually avoiding a motorized transportation which might have led to certain amount of pollution. Now moving forward, the certain benefits of non-motorized transportation. See, when we say VKT, it is the vehicles kilometer travel. If we count all the vehicles and all the distances traveled by these vehicles, okay, if suppose you have one car and that car has traveled 10,000 kilometer in particular 1 year, another car traveled 7,000 kilometer, one bus it traveled 1 lakh kilometer in 1 year. So if you add up all these distances, then you will find out the total number of vehicle kilometer travel in a particular location. So if in a particular location, let us say for example in a city like Guwahati, if we calculate the vehicle kilometer travel, and if Guwahati is a city which is a very friendly for non-motorized transportation, suppose for pedestrians and for bicyclists, cycle users, then what will it impact the vehicle kilometer travel? Obviously, it will impact the vehicle kilometer travel of motorized vehicles. It will reduce the vehicle kilometer travel of the motorized users if we have more non-motorized friendly cities. At the same time, Indian cities are more compact in nature. That is, the city areas are more dense. If you compare with cities of American continents or European continents, you will find that Indian cities are more compact. That is, the population is more densely located. So that is why the cities are very much smaller and number of people living in that city is more. That is why if we are using non-motorized transportation, the amount of distance that you will be required to move in your particular vehicle will be less compared to another cities where the density is not that high. Next important benefit of non-motorized transportation is it is having a great amount of impact in the health of the citizen. It helps to keep the citizens in shape and improve their quality of life. Non-motorized transportation is also said to be a green transportation because it helps the environment with its zero emission. There is no kind of carbon emission that is happening in the non-motorized transportation. The non-motorized transportation helps the local economy. Now, for example, I have this mobile and I want to buy a cover of this mobile, suppose. So how will I buy the cover? I may order it in some multinational sites like Amazon or Flipkart and get the mobile cover delivered at my home. But at the same time, if I am using bicycle or I am going on foot in certain locations, there may be certain vendors or certain local food shops on the footpaths which are selling this particular cover of this particular phone, which is located maybe nearby to my workplace or nearby to my residence. Since I am using non-motorized transportation, I can easily go to those footpaths and those shops and buy the cover from that particular shop. But if I'm not using any non-motorized transportation, it may be difficult for me to park my vehicle somewhere and go to the footpath and start buying stuffs. So that is why when people tends to use non-motorized transportation, it benefits the local economy. So what are the advantages of non-motorized transportation in the Indian context? I've already said that Indian cities are more compact in nature and possess higher urban density. As per the relationship between transport-related energy consumption and urban density, a higher urban density means more compact city and therefore less distance to travel. So when you are having less distance to travel in a compact city, you will be more prone to use non-motorized transportation. So, what are the key steps to non-motorized transportation planning? The non-motorized transportation planning is divided into 5 steps. That is, number 1 is assess. You have to assess whether the people are tending to use non-motorized transportation. What are the facilities that are already there? What additional facilities are required? You have to enable. You have to create awareness that their non-motorized transportation are having a lot of benefits. That is why you have to enable the users to use the non-motorized transportation. Next is the planning and design. It is the responsibility of the transportation planner to work along with the administration of the city to plan and design for non-motorized transportation infrastructures. The pedestrians should have certain infrastructures because there should be well marked and footpaths. There should be well marked zebra crossings. There should be well marked crossings for underground crossing or over the ground crossing, so that people walking on foot may go from one end of the road to the another end of the road without facing any kind of disturbances. Next point is the administration should invest in the construction and then the implementation. So these are the key steps of non-motorized transportation. I hope I have given a very brief idea about the non-motorized transportation. So I suggest all of you to go in details about the non-motorized transportation, about the various calculations involved in the planning of the non-motorized transportation, how we will decide that which type of transportation facilities we will adopt, how we will calculate the demand and benefit of the non-motorized transportation, and likewise we will be able to create the infrastructure that will be required for the non-motorized transportation. So, and it is very much important that we create an awareness regarding the non-motorized transportation so that more and more people start using the non-motorized transportation. That will impact the health of the individual, the society, as the by providing environmental benefits and the economic benefits. So with this, we would like to end the today's session, and we will continue our discussion of non-motorized transportation in our upcoming classes. Thank you.